How's it going, guys? Cameron here as Canadian Gamer, coming at you with another video. Doing something a little bit different today, a little bit of a Movies on the Run episode. Haven't done one of these in a while. And how fitting, it being Thanksgiving weekend up here in Canada, that I've got a video that sort of ties into Thanksgiving. Now, a little over a year ago, I posted a comment on a video that was highlighting a deleted scene that was newly discovered footage from the classic John Candy movie Uncle Buck. And I had posted a comment on that video a little over a year ago. I had put on there, pure gold. I would give anything to see all of the cut footage from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Now, any of you who have seen that movie, I'm not going to go into it in great detail here. It's obviously an incredible movie. So many memorable lines and scenes in that movie. A John Hughes classic. And you got to remember when that movie came out, John Hughes had a string of incredible films throughout the 1980s. However, most of his films centered around usually a gang of either children or teenagers. That was his claim to fame. He had Ferris Bueller Day Off, and he had a couple other classics as well. However, whenever we got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, this was a little bit of a different kind of movie for John Hughes, because here you have two actors that are in their prime, in their late 30s at this point, Steve Martin and the incomparable John Candy. And a lot of people, including myself, would suggest that this would be the best John Hughes film out there. Again, jam-packed at 93 minutes. Believe it or not, the original film, before it entered the cutting room floor, apparently they had filmed over, I believe it was 2.5 to 3 hours of film. Now, obviously, John Candy passed away a number of years ago in and around 1993. And although there's plenty of John Candy movies, late night comedy acts as well, archive footage out there that you can watch of him, it's still not that much in the grand scheme of things, because we lost him at such an early age, which is, again, extremely unfortunate. So when you look at that and you tie it into how incredible this movie was, the chemistry he had with Steve Martin, it's at least for a movie buff like myself who loves this movie, it blows my mind that there's potentially, over an hour and a half, 2 hours of film that was left on the cutting room floor that up until now, a lot of us were under the impression that we would never get to see. And the reason why that was is because back in the day, we talked a little bit about this on the live stream last night, back in 1987, when a movie studio like Paramount shot a video or, produced a video, this wasn't really the digital era like it is today, right? They were still using reel to reel, and whenever they cut the film, they take the excess B-roll, the film, and they put it in a container somewhere. And obviously, over time, that film is going to deteriorate. And that was the understanding of a lot of us out there that had looked into this, was that this film, this extra footage was gone. It was done. It was toast. It was never saved, and it eroded over time. Now, apparently, that's not the case. Apparently, someone close to the matter had access to, I guess, some archived material from John Hughes. I don't know if it was a storage container, a storage locker, maybe his estate. I have no idea. But apparently they've uncovered most of, if not all of, the never before seen footage from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And apparently a lot of this footage is legitimate, because when you watch the original film, the way it was cut, some things just, if you really pay attention to it, some things are just off on it. with regards to how the story cuts from one part to the next, and it kind of has some gaps or some holes, if you will, as far as the story is concerned. If you really look into it, at the end when Del meets Neil's wife and she shakes Del's hand. Little known fact, apparently it was originally supposed to be in the film that she thought Neil was cheating on her with another woman, and when Neil was talking to her on the phone about Del, she thought Neil was making up the name Del as a cover-up, and apparently, there's some deleted footage that sort of elaborates on that and explains a bit of the backstory. But more to the point, these two guys were just absolute magic on screen together, Steve Martin and John Candy. So I am really excited to announce that apparently, unless this is a hoax, because there's only 3 websites right now that I know of that are talking about this, apparently there will be a 4K Ultra HD version of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to be released on November 22nd, 2022. I believe that sort of aligns with the American Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. And this would also be the 35th anniversary of the film, which came out in 1987. And the reason why I know this is because somebody out of the blue responded to my comment from a year ago on this Uncle Buck deleted scene video 17 hours ago. Some guy by the name of Creature, and he said the 4K Ultra DH will contain 75 minutes of extended and deleted scenes out in November. So when he told me that, I went and looked it up and I found a few articles on it. But I hope this is not a joke, because you'd think there would be more coverage. There's nothing on YouTube that I can see regarding this. And there was an image of the box art on one of the websites, Collider, which showed it as a Blu-ray ultra high definition 4K, and I clicked the link to go to Amazon and there's nothing there. So I hope this is not a hoax. I hope this is legit. Apparently, like I said, there's a bonus quote-unquote lost luggage Blu-ray disc containing over an hour of never-before-seen deleted and extended scenes that were recently discovered. It says here, in the archives of writer, producer, and director John Hughes. The newly uncovered footage offers a unique glimpse into the filmmaking and editing process and features even more hilarious moments from Steve Martin and John Candy. I'm reading that on BroadwayWorld.com. So that was an article from October 8th. So that was actually, October 3rd, so about 5 days ago. So, yeah, not much more I can say on that. I hope this is legitimate. I'm really excited if that's the case. If this was a hoax, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. I really do want to see those undiscovered or newly discovered scenes. That's unbelievable. Right now, the only scene that wasn't in the movie was in the original trailer. There was, if I'm not mistaken, a small clip that actually got omitted from the film when it was released. So you know how it is, eh? Like John Hughes probably would have liked for the film to have been longer than 93 minutes, but Paramount probably told him, the final cut probably had to be 93 minutes. So that's why he had to. Imagine having to go into a film that you shot 3 hours worth of video or film, and you have to shave it down to 93 minutes. Can you fucking imagine that? So for him to have been able to do that, and for the film to turn out as good as it did, that speaks volumes about him as a director. So anyways, yeah, apparently this is coming out November 22nd. Leave in the comments below, are you guys a fan of this film? Are you excited for this release? Do you think this is absolute BS? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Take care.